Hey, welcome. My name is Angelina, and today we are going to be fixing the worst of the worst, the ugliest, the most terrible K-pop thumbnails in K-pop. So not too long ago, I asked you guys on my community tab, what are the ugliest K-pop thumbnails you can think of, because I wanted to try fixing them. And a lot of you guys suggested K-pop thumbnails that I already fixed in the past. So if you haven't already seen my video of fixing ugly K-pop thumbnails, then definitely go check that out after you're done watching this video, because you wouldn't want to mess with my watch time. I mean, we all need to be humbled at times, but there should really be a limit. So yes, in today's video, I'm going to be taking your suggestions and fixing the ugliest K-pop thumbnails to ever grace this here platform. But before we get into that, please make sure to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. You can also consider subscribing and clicking that bell to be notified so you don't miss out on gems like this. But let me start off with a little bit of a disclaimer. So I'm not a professional, but I really don't think you need to pay money to learn that this is objectively a really terrible thumbnail. But anyways, I will be giving you the choice at the end of every edit, whether you would choose the original thumbnail or my options. So we'll see who wins this race. Me or the companies that falsely copyright claim my videos. At the end of the day, they're the ones in big buildings, and I'm filming this in my room, so you know, don't take it to heart. So I did want to explain what I used to make these thumbnails. So the first thing I do is I actually download the music video, and this is because like straight off of YouTube, it's hard to get the exact frame that I want, and usually there's like the time bar in the way and all of that jazz. So I use 4K Downloader. It's free. I'm in no way affiliated with them, but they are free. So I download the music video and then I put it onto, you know, an editing software, so Final Cut Pro or iMovie, and then I just skim through it and pick what looks best. I screenshot a couple of options and then I use Pixelmator Pro. So in the last video, I used a free program, but unfortunately when I updated my laptop to get Final Cut Pro, it really fucked everything up. So I'll still leave the free photo editing software in the description, but I do use Pixelmator Pro now, which is not free, though I am currently using the free trial, but I'm gonna have to pay for it eventually. But anyways, let's start with GOT7's Eclipse thumbnail, which was suggested by Normal Smasher, who is actually someone who gave me advice that I believe helped me get my play button. Just don't fucking have compilation videos, I guess. The thing is, they put effort into this, right? Because it's not a scene in the music video. They legit had to edit this themselves. So there was effort put into it, but it just like, what the it looks like a music stage. It looks like something Mnet does when they don't take really professional pictures of their stages. But that's not even the worst part. Like, the worst part is that this guy's face is covered. And for what? So pet peeve number one is definitely the border. We all know that I hate borders. I just feel like it's very unnecessary. Pet peeve number two, and this is very specific to me, but I hate the fact that their faces are not the same size. And I'm not talking about biology, I'm talking about like editing wise. I do my best to make sure that faces are proportionate, right? Even if someone's face is bigger, I try to make it look like as if they're in the picture together, right? So you wouldn't have like one super huge face and then someone from super far. They would ideally have similar size face where they look like cohesive at least. And the last thing that bothers me, that's not like a huge deal, but it's just like the clear lighting difference. You know, one's more like orange toned, one's more blue toned, and it's just like within this picture, it doesn't create a beautiful dichotomy within their differences. It just looks weird. So yes, we're using Pixelmator Pro. Again, I have no affiliation with them. I haven't even paid for this yet, but I digress. So this first screenshot, I thought it was really nice, very somber, and he's more off to the side, so I feel like it would kind of complement the size of the logo, though there is a lot of space to the left. So it's not my favorite, but it's option number one. And actually, I just took inspiration from the original thumbnail and just took that picture of Jackson, made it a little bit bigger. There's still a lot of space on the left, but I think it looks more intriguing. It looks better than the original. We're at least not covering anything. So let me know, do you prefer the original thumbnail, my first option, or my second option? And actually, let's do Twice's Dance the Night Away. This was recommended so much in the last video as being the worst K-pop thumbnail. And I mean, it's definitely not good. They're mid-movement. We have two members whose backs are faced towards the camera. It's blurry as hell. Also, I don't know if anyone noticed, but there are borders on the side of this thumbnail. So let's look at some other options. Honestly, for this music video, I did find it a little bit hard to find you know, a screenshot that would really fit the music video, that would really tell a story. There's a lot of beautiful screenshots, but just like within the context of a thumbnail, I felt like they didn't really make the most sense. You know, we have Momo with a crab, and I was like, maybe that would like turn people off from watching the video. Maybe they're scared of crabs. And there are just some things that seemed a little bit too posed. But anyways, so the first screenshot I have is them on a cliff. I just thought it was a very beautiful scene. I wanted something different. I just didn't want to do constant face shots of everyone. That's kind of easy. But I zoomed it in a little bit and I mirrored it because I didn't want the blue of the logo to mesh with the blue of the sky. And then the second one is just Taeyong's face. Pretty simple. So let me know the original, option number 1, or option number 2. I personally really like option number 1. I feel like it's very intriguing. I like the colors. I feel like I would click on it. Honestly, I think anything is an improvement from this. The next thumbnail suggestion we have is BTS's Dynamite. That was suggested by Lara. Dynamite definitely is not the best thumbnail. What do I even say? I hate it when the sky is white. I know. It's fine. I know. I just think when the sky is perfectly white, it makes for a very boring thumbnail. I prefer blue. I prefer literally anything else. On top of that, they just look like they're in different phases of life. I get it. The music video is very fun. And if we want to go for something fun, we could go for this screenshot. If we want something fun, I think there are definitely better options. But I think sometimes that fun doesn't get translated super well into a thumbnail. Like right now, if I'd never seen the music video, I would just think it's a bad screenshot. So you need something that's like explicitly fun. Now there is a lot of movement in the music video, and there's not a lot of scenes where they're really all together in a way that would make sense in a thumbnail. But here's example number 1. We just have a simple face shot. I like this picture. I think it's really nice. So let me know, do you prefer the original or do you prefer what I came up with? Moving on to Dreamcatcher's You and I, that was suggested by Angelina. I'm terribly sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I mean, I had never seen this thumbnail before, but it's like objectively bad. This does give me TXT Blue Hour vibes in the sense that it's just some random ass screenshot that does not represent the music video. And it's blurry as hell. Like if I saw this, I wouldn't be intrigued in the slightest to click on it. And honestly, after watching the music video, it has like so much more to offer. It's a really beautiful music video. So for this one, I decided to go with 0 face shots because I just think like the visuals presented in this music video again are really stunning. So this first scene is interesting because it features all the members. I don't know how many members are in this group. I'm sorry, don't at me. You know, it features members. One of them is laying in the ground while everyone is circling around her. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm intrigued to find out. The second one also is super interesting because she's in this like glass case. Just the colors and everything, like I think it represents the music video very nicely. And then this last option, I don't know, maybe from far it doesn't make the most sense, but I do really like this scene. And I think this kind of portal is quite prominent within the music video as well. So for these types of thumbnails, like Big Hit usually and Dreamcatcher, apparently there are no logos, so pretty easy going. But yes, let me know in the comments down below, do you prefer the original, number 1, number 2, or number 3? And as I say that, for Big Hit labels, we have TXT's Our Summer, suggested by Pretend There's a Name. Now, when I went to look up this thumbnail, I audibly gasped. Like, I have to say this was quite shocking to me because first of all, Big Hit isn't quite known to be putting their logos on shit, right? And you know, granted, it is a special music video, but I don't think that's an excuse. Not only are 3.5 members almost completely cut off, there are 3 logos in this and a huge ass border. That doesn't make sense because you can actually see the original border and then where they add more of a border, and that first logo is so high up, covering members when there's so much space to not cover those members. Do you know what I mean? Now, for everyone who thinks that I hate TXT, just please know that I'm legally not allowed to hate someone who is a parrot person. I don't make the rules. Except for that one lady. There was this one lady. She had a shirt that said, "I heart my African gray." I thought, you know, my awkward ass would go up to her and tell her that I loved her shirt. She said, "Thank you." And I was like, I love parrots, and I left. You know, I just assumed parrot people are nice, and sometimes it backfires. It's fine. He's probably a nice person, though. He has an Amazon parrot. Those African gray owners, though, questionable. I did also want to point out that this thumbnail was not available in 1080p. I had to use like a really sketchy site to extract this thumbnail. So I usually use this one link, and I'll share the link with you. I'll show you how I do it. I take the ending of the YouTube URL of the thumbnail that I want, and then I paste it into this already formed link, and that's how I get my thumbnails. But it only works for max res default pictures, and this is not max res default. But anyways, let's dive into this. So inevitably, you know, it's a selfie version music video, so they shot it themselves. It makes sense. I get it. I'm not knocking that. I just think, you know, the whole presentation of this could be a lot better. So inevitably, no matter what screenshot I'm going to take, it's going to not look like, you know, a regular music video, but that's fine. So the first thing that I thought was really cute is them with their backs turned towards the camera, but you see like the city line, you see water, it's colorful enough. I thought it was really nice. So I took this and I added their logo, which I don't know what, don't kill me, I don't know what tea time is. TXT time? You're gonna want to cut that out because they're really gonna be suspicious that I hate TXT after that. Meanwhile, in my heart, Toto's adorable as hell. I don't know if you've ever met an Amazon parrot, but they're just like, every Amazon parrot I've met is just like very full of character. So the first thing we're going to do is take away the damn borders. We're not having that whatsoever. These are going to be full screen pictures. Second of all, because this logo is not usually present in their music videos, I've decided to take some creative liberties. So I've made it smaller, and I've also added a shadow because, again, I think shadows look good on everything. It just adds more depth, and I think it looks more interesting. Though I think I added a little bit too much shadow this time. Again, I'm learning Pixelmator Pro. My last photo editing software was so much easier. It was just the perfect amount of shadow, and now I'm like struggling to find it. So I like this one. You know, we have some members who are admittedly a little bit cut off, but it's like their backs anyways, so it's not as rude. Then we have this thumbnail, which is just really cute. They're on some type of playground, I think. They're all faced to the camera. The logo is in the corner. It's not really covering them to a point where they're just floating heads, right? You still see them. You still can tell that are they 5? Okay, thank God. I was like, did I cut out a member? Because that would have been not good. I joke about all this stuff. Please don't think I'm actually scared of MOAs or I'm actually scared of these fandoms. I like to joke about it. That's all you can do. In this world of K-pop where things actually get super toxic, all you can do is joke about it. So this is cute too, but again, the white sky just isn't really doing it for me. But it's cute, you know. There's not a lot of pressure for this one because it is just like a Selka version of the music video. So again, let me know, which do you prefer? Do you prefer the original version, version number 1, or version number 2? I need to stop this video right now to make an announcement. This video is sponsored. I'm kidding, it's not. I have to find other ways to keep the lights on, though the sun's doing a great job. Thank you. No. I needed to announce that the first time in history, I did not bring 21 into this. The hunter brought 21 into this. Anyways, this lovely individual suggested 21s try to follow me, and I have to agree. First of all, they're all kind of doing different moves. Minzy's face is completely turned away from the camera. I don't understand why they picked this, but this was also during the era where YG didn't add their... wait a minute. I remember as far back as 2006 music videos having YG Entertainment logos. Why didn't 21 have YG logos? What does it mean? Anyways, I took the creative liberty of adding my own YG logo. So I like the setup. I love that we see their clothing. I love that we see their background. It's really interesting. But like, just no. So ideally, I would have loved one of Dada's solo scenes because I just love the colors. I had those same earrings, I will have you know. You know, this song wasn't promoted heavily, but I still think it was really iconic, and I don't understand how that happened, but anyways. So a scene that really stands out to me and tried to follow me, but that I feel like doesn't really match like the vibe of the music video, is definitely CL's scene with all of the diamonds on her face. I feel like it's really reminiscent of Kill This Love, you know, just a face shot where it looks like you're only a floating head. I don't know, did anyone else make that parallel, or is it just me being annoying? But on that note of the face shot, it's really interesting because I feel like in second gen K-pop, there was not as many face shots as there are now. Now, like, there are a dime a dozen. There are so many face shots within music videos, usually as a trend. There's so much more importance placed on faces now than there were before, even within performances. Screenshot a performance and more than likely you're gonna see that the idol looks perfect. Whereas back in the day, they'd have like hair in their face. But anyways, both of these options are ironically face shots. So I picked this one scene where it shows those diamonds on her face because I think it's really intriguing. I did add the logo with a little bit of shadow. I did want to start adding some shadows to the logos just for fun to see what it looks like. So rather than evoking the colorful nature of the song, which I wasn't able to find like a really good screenshot for that, it evokes the kind of futuristic feeling that the song has as well. So, you know, the background looks really futuristic. It looks really intriguing. So that's option number one. But I think I really like option number two because we see more of that styling. The background is a little bit more intriguing. And I don't know, it looks really badass. It looks really cool. Again, doesn't really evoke that feeling of Try to Follow Me. Try to Follow Me, in my opinion, was like the original Zimzalabim, super crazy, over the top styling that made very little sense but looked so much fun. So I'd have loved to evoke that in the thumbnail, but this is the best we're gonna get. A lot of it was really fucking blurry. So do you prefer the original, my first option, or my second option? Now we have Mamamoo's Aya as suggested by Blackpink Are Queens. So this is a type of thumbnail where it's bad, but it's not necessarily going to keep me up at night. So we have Hwasa in the back who half of her face is covered. They're just in movement. It looks really awkward, so I'm going to fix this. So the first thumbnail option is surprise, surprise, a face shot. Now I think it's a nice screenshot, though it's not the most intriguing. You know, it just looks like a plain red background. You know, it does offer the fact that it's a darker music video, but it's not my favorite. However, the second option, I think it's a little bit unconventional. I just felt like the colors better evoked what you would see in the music video, you know, the fan, the foliage, all of that jazz. But I definitely think the last option is the best option, the most interesting option. You know, it's not like a typical face shot. So we see the room in its entirety. I just love her pose. I love how badass it looks, and it definitely represents the music video. So again, do you like the original, my option number one, option number two, or option number three? Now I did want to do some honorable mentions. So we have NCT's Make a Wish, which apparently makes it look like Jaemin is picking his nose, among many other atrocities, but we won't get into that today. We also have the Hobgoblin performance video, which is just, I mean, this is just a gem, isn't it? Another thumbnail that evokes a similar vibe was from Netflix's Film Club, and it was a video about Blackpink's choreography, and I was just like, there were so many amazing pictures from Coachella, and they picked this one. I never want to hear that I'm a Blackpink anti ever again, because this is anti-behavior. So that is basically it for this video. I actually, for the next video, like, I know it's really fun to fix thumbnails, but next time I want to look into the best K-pop thumbnails, and then I want to ruin them. Like, wouldn't that be fun? Making thumbnails prettier is a lot of fun, admittedly, but I'm personally really drawn to destruction. So let me know if you think that's a good idea. We take the best K-pop thumbnails, kind of review them, talk about why they're nice, and then come up with the most ridiculous thumbnail versions of them. But it won't just be random screenshots either. I'm actually going to thoughtfully think about like the worst possible thumbnail that I can come up with. Anyways, let me know if you think that's a good idea or if it's flawed. Anyways, my dogs are mad because someone's outside, so I'm gonna get going. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. You can also consider joining my channel members by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button. You can get a cute Kevin emoji next to your name. You could see videos earlier or even exclusive videos depending on which level you're on. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. Thank you so much for all of your support and everything that you do. As for me, I'm gonna get going, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye! But it's different from my last editing software in some ways, where like it's much easier in some ways and much harder in some ways. I'm still learning it. There's no way I could have used my last editing software because it just didn't work. It wasn't working. Anytime I would use anything with like a brush, it was just so painfully slow. And then I went on their website and it said they're not compatible with Big Sur, which is what my laptop was updated to. Anyways, I'm still not over that because not only did I have to learn how to edit again through Final Cut Pro, I had to learn how to edit thumbnails again through a different editing software. It was like a really hard week. Like, surprisingly, it was an overwhelming week to have to learn everything from scratch. Like, imagine you're a chef or something and you know how to cut vegetables. Imagine you have to stop before every vegetable and fucking Google how to cut the damn vegetable. That was me. Like, how do I do this? How do I do that? Like, I had to Google every single step because they were just so different.